Welcome to my channel. In this video I will be talking about books by T.Bogema from her Vintage Classic Coloring Pages series. You know that I love art by T.Bogema, but previously I colored only her pictures from a nice little town, pictures with mice. But in January I got this very nice gift, two books from Vintage Classic Coloring Pages series, book number 1 and book number 2. So of course I was curious about this paper. Well, I am a little bit uncomfortable because these books, they are gift, and I am very happy, I am very grateful, because I don't think that I would purchase them myself. I have a lot of books and I hadn't properly looked at these books by T.Bogema. I thought that I am pretty happy to color only her mice. But now I would say that art here is on a very high level. It's on very superior comparing to many other coloring books, so I am totally in love with the art. But as I was asked to tell my opinion about quality also, there will be a little bit of negativity in this video, so I am sorry. But of course I will be coloring in these books, and when you get used to this paper, you will be very happy to color in these books. So let's have a look at the art. I really love this art on the cover, and even if I wasn't a huge lover of grayscales, surprisingly here, fact that many pictures are indeed grayscales with this added pen strokes, they don't bother me, and it's very helpful of course in coloring. Probably it's kind of grayscale, which I don't mind and which I do like. Book number 1 for now is my favorite, but art is books is really good. Maybe I tend to book number 1 because it's a little bit more realistic, even if it has some fantasy additional details. But you know that for me to color realistic is easy, and to color something fantasy is a little bit more challenging. So look at this beautiful art. I would say that Tatiana draws very well all botanical elements, all animals, so pictures are gorgeous. And I do love that we have perfectly realistic pictures like this one or this one, and also here we have some fantasy details. I love that on many pictures we have addition of very cute animals and interesting additional details which we can use as a for imagining some story behind, as a hint for which color we can use. And animals, they are absolutely adorable. Maybe because I love to color animals, that's why for now book number 1 is my favorite. Look at this beauty. Another beautiful picture. You can see that we have this grayscale shading, and it can be helpful for beginners. It's very easy to see shadow from the top part of the mushroom, shadow between leaves, behind leaves on the mushroom. So it's very easy for studying where shadows have to be. And of course I also found it very helpful. Some pictures are more in fantasy style, and they also are very interesting to do. It's art from the cover, and I really want to do it in my own way, but picture is really very nice. Look at the small details. We have this very cute dragon, a lot of interesting botanical elements, berries, various leaves, flowers, and they really are very interesting. Different shapes, different sizes. And here we have small cute bird here and here, so it's a little bit like trying to find all small hidden details. A lot of nice pictures. Look at this cat with birds, with frog, and a rabbit is also quite adorable. Another page which I really want to do something maybe in African style because of this interesting hairdress. I'm not sure exactly what animal we have here. First I thought that maybe it's a fox, but now I'm not sure. I'm not very good at knowing all the animals. Look at this rabbit adorned with this very beautiful jewelry. So, as I said, I am in love with the art, and now let's talk about quality. You can see, probably you can see that binding is really good. And paper, it's a traditional quality of paper printed by request on Amazon, I think. So it's very similar to simple printer paper. I found the truth of the paper is surprisingly good. Let me show you my first page, which I started to do. I hope that in a couple of days I will be able to show you my finished project. But here I already used a lot of pencils just to test them. I found that harder pencils like polychromasis, like Black Widow, and surprisingly my Mitsubishi Uno, they all love this tooth of paper. I also tried to use here Darwin drawings, so creamy pencils, and they also behaved very well. What can I say? I would say that harder pencils and blender for softer pencil can be very helpful on this paper. I also tried to use alcohol-based markers. Well, when you use marker with intense color like dark green, it's okay. When you use a very pastel color, because of this dark background, while paper is still wet from the pigment, it looks a little bit dark, but after drying it's also quite nice to color on this paper with markers. So when I got the book, I was afraid of this paper. Now, step by step, my opinion starts to be much more positive. Tooth of the paper is good, but thickness of paper is terrible. I was afraid, obviously, to use a watercolor for the background. You know, I saw some works where people used watercolors here, but I don't know how I would smooth paper after a watercolor would dry. I know that it would be possible to prepare my paper using clear gesso, but still it would help watercolor to not to bleed through the paper, but still it would be terribly crumpled. I don't know how to say. And you know that I prefer to color on the nice and smooth paper when I start to work with pencils. Usually I ironed my pages, but I already had negative experience when I ironed page with this black paint on the background. So I definitely would prefer to have this book printed on this thin paper, but without this terrible black paint. It didn't help a lot. You can clearly see where my marker bleeded, and I wouldn't mind if it would be visible on the white paper, but now I can't iron my page because of this black paint. So I used acrylic paint with smallest amount of water. For me it's a solution how to do the background. And this, because of this black paint, all these pictures, they are printed not on white. I am not sure that it's visible, but they all on this, it's like dirty gray rectangular background. It's helpful when you need to indicate your own picture background, but still I would prefer that artists would get rid of this gray background, which I don't like it a lot. And another thing is that I still can't get my book flat. Look at here, it's constantly trying to be like this. I don't know why. When they arrived, they were in perfect condition, but when I started to work, they are constantly a little bit bended. It's not a problem, but still, it's a cost of the very thin paper. I think that I will proceed to color in this book using acrylic for the background. For me it will be a nice practice. With acrylic I have some nice colors and I don't use them quite often, so at least for the background they will be helpful. Also, I plan to use gouache paints because they don't require such big amount of water comparing to watercolors. And I will proceed to color with markers and various mediums. For now, my happiest surprise here is that my Mitsubishi Uno, they behaved quite nice on this paper. Well, the only another negative thing is that for this kind of designs where we have relatively big elements and a lot of dark areas, it's not that big a problem if there are still white dots on the paper. When I applied a little bit of polychromosis on the head of the eagle, probably you can see that I wasn't capable to cover all white spots. Here it's even a good thing because it helped me to add some texture of the feathers. But if you would need to color mice designs, here in the end I have a couple of additional bonus pages from mice books, and I don't know which pencils I would prefer to use here. To color small details, and Nice Little Town is less, number 4 is less detailed comparing to book number 7 or Christmas books. So with tiny elements, I would say that it could be a problem to work on this paper. So for these designs with flowers, when you are a little bit not very precise with your pencils, when they are smashed a little bit, it's not such a problem as with designs with small element from Nice Little Town series. I am very happy with my progress for now. All pencils, they look bright, and I do love how they blend together. Tooth of the paper is helpful. I think that I will do another test. I will try to color that Nice Little Town page. But well, I would prefer to have other books by T.Bogema printed in different quality. These paper books I can recommend. It's possible to find various solutions how to do background and how to color images, even if I would really love to use watercolors here, so I am a little bit nervous about using it, but probably I will do it using a clear gesso. But I would recommend to purchase Nice Little Town series as a PDF books and print them by yourself. So that's my opinion. I hope that I will be able to show you much more pictures in this book, because I already noticed for myself several pictures which I want to do, and even main colors for them. So let's quickly proceed to look at all these beautiful designs. I will be very happy to hear your opinion. What do you use for the backgrounds? I know that it's possible to use soft pastels, but I simply think that pictures like this, they require slightly more intense backgrounds with bright colors and maybe with some interesting watercolor stains. So that's why I suffer a little bit that I can't do it for now. But maybe clear gesso will be helpful, and somehow I will be able to smooth my book after using water on this paper. Look at this beauty. The artist skills are amazing. I really love this wolf. And in the end we have bonus pictures from other books by Tatiana, where I intend to practice, where I am not afraid to ruin these pictures. Nice Little Town 5, 4 and other pictures. If you are interested in steampunk designs, I would also recommend to purchase them in PDF and printed on a watercolor paper. So a lot of pictures to practice. And let's have a look at the second book, which is more in fantasy style, I would say. Again, you can see this gray rectangular background because of the black paint. Here we have some interesting ladies with dragons. I do love dragons, so of course I also will be doing something from this book. And I love that both in jewelry and in dresses we have some interesting like Oriental or African details probably. We also have mermaid here, I hadn't noticed yet. Another interesting thing to do. I don't think that I would like to do here backgrounds with pencils, but I hope that acrylic paint will be helpful. At least here we have a lot of pictures where background isn't that big. That's another project which I really love, which I would like to do. I think that I will do it in spring because these plants, we always have them before Easter time. And you know how I love to color feathers and birds. Another beauty is some kind of colibri dragon. I think that it's amazing. I love that when we have realistic bird, it's almost never outlined by thick lines like we have on fairies or on the stones. It always is drawn like in sketchy style, so it's much easier to color in realistic style and to draw fluffy feathers or fur. The fantasy of the artist is a very impressive. Imagination. They are really very inspiring. This one is strange, but at the same time it's very interesting to color. And again, you can see that it's always a little bit curved. I don't know why. I store them laying flat on my table, but when I start to open it, they don't want to lay flat. Another beautiful design. Sorry guys that I made this video quite long, but I received a lot of requests about my opinion concerning this paper. So it's totally possible to work on this paper, but it simply would require some bigger amount of time to work carefully, and I would recommend it for bigger images, not for nice little town. Another picture which I really want to do. I think that I will do a golden background here because I have some inspirational paintings which I saw with interesting similar characters, so I will use them as an inspiration. I hope that I will be able to do it next month. And that was all. I am very grateful for this gift. As I said, by myself, I don't think that I would pay proper attention to these books, and despite all the problems with the paper, still art is great, and at any time I will be able to scan these images, and if I want to, I will print them on my own paper. So I hope that you will be able to find something helpful in this video, and I hope to return to you very quickly with the finished works in book number 1 and book number 2. Thanks for watching.